Hello everyone, and welcome to the explanation of Blessing of Energy Centers 5. If you are not yet a member of the Coherence Meditation Gym, well, if you're watching this live, you are. But if you're watching this on YouTube, would love for you to subscribe and also to consider joining the Coherence Meditation Gym. We do 4 meditations a month, and this Saturday we're doing Blessing of Energy Centers 5, and that's why I am coming on live here in our Facebook group and then uploading it to YouTube so that members here can be prepared for Saturday and we can do this together. So we synchronize in meditation every other Saturday and every other Wednesday, and we join through Zoom. People from all over the world join in. It's a beautiful thing to see, to be in one place in the space, in the field, in different locations from around the world, and to do our meditations together. They're all Dr. Joe meditations, and I must say I am not a certified Dr. Joe facilitator. I am, though, a HeartMath certified coach since 2016, and if you know or you're familiar with Dr. Joe's work, you will know how HeartMath and his work are very much intertwined, and they still work very much together in the research. Talking about research, just this Saturday, we did the HeartMath experiment from the Love and Unleashed event in Santa Cruz, California, where HeartMath had their an event, and we, as a group, some of us, the ones that were able to join because it was sort of a last-minute thing, we joined through the Global Coherence Initiative app, where we have a group. So you're welcome to join that group and measure our coherence when we synchronize in meditation. So I'll do a separate thing, or send me a message if you'd like to join that, or I will share the links here on how to join our group within the app. But so this explanation is Blessing of Energy Centers 5. We're doing it this Saturday as of this, this recording, or this if you're watching this live. And what I do is Dr. Joe has most of his meditations come with an explanation. So this is an 8-minute explanation from Dr. Joe. I take notes. I try to remain, with the integrity of his explanation. I might add a few things based on my experience, or based on just, making the language just slightly, sometimes when we listen to the same thing from somebody else or through experience, we kind of get, a different, like we might get an aha moment, or it just another understanding. So from a different perspective, or from listening to it with a different tone, perhaps. So I'm just going to jump right in. I have plenty of notes. So this is an advanced meditation. I must start off by saying that it is recommended that you know 1, 2, 3, or 4 that you have experienced Blessing of Energy Centers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and if you've been part of the gym for, for a little while, you'll see that we've been doing that. Every other Saturday, we've been building it up to now 5. It's our turn to do 5, and then we'll do 6 in 2 more Saturdays. So it is an advanced meditation. So between now and this Saturday, you might have time to practice, or even look back at some of the explanations that I've already recorded. I'm happy to share those with you, or you can type them in here. They're somewhere around here. So we have explanations for 1, 2, 3, 4. So the more, having these experiences, we're building this model so that we understand what we're doing, and it's easier for us to build that model of experience. And as we know, experience builds a neurological network in the brain, so we can get better value in what we're doing. So as we know, each energy center is a center of information They each have their own energy, their own frequency. They carry their own message. They have their own, consciousness, their own glands, their own hormones, their own chemicals, their own mini brains. So when energy activates any one of these centers, so how we do that is by focusing all our attention. We know that energy, flows where our attention goes. So as we focus our attention, that means we're sending energy there. That means that we are activating the energy centers, and that creates a mind. And each center with its own mind, once energy activates it, it responds to our mind. So it's almost like we're creating that relationship with each one of the centers and creating, activating its intelligence, its wisdom, its information. So when we trust our, he then goes on to explain that when we trust our gut, we activate our second center. We put energy in that center. When we use our will, or we empower ourselves or empowering something, we activate our third center. That's because each center has its own, dominion, so to speak. So love, where does that one come from? We know that love and kindness and compassion, those are qualities of the heart, of the fourth energy center. So we activate each center, and it begins to produce a certain consciousness. So that's how we have this understanding, right? We already have this knowing that before coming into this meditation, like by doing all the previous ones. So he goes on to say, so let's think about how much creative energy we have in our first center. So thinking about, the sacral, the energy center 1, we have enough energy there, men and women, to create a human being, a baby. A lot of us have been conditioned to believe that the only thing to do with this energy is to release it. But that tremendous amount of creative energy doesn't have to be released out. And when we feel safe in our environment, we have food, we have shelter, we have family, social networks, support, we have culture. When we feel safe, energy moves from the first center to the second center. And now this energy begins to activate the body in a different way. So when I was writing down these notes, it's really fascinating, for one, to do this exercise of listening and then writing things down and then remembering, and kind of like help, and this is my intention by sharing this with you, because I think, the more we listen to something and we kind of maybe take notes and then like remember, oh yeah, that's what was going on, you get something different, you get something more. And like he says, build this model of understanding. So when I was writing that down about energy center 1, like it has this creative energy, and I've heard this before over and over, that we don't have to release that sexual energy, that creative energy, that that it could be just so I don't want to say wasted, but like it's just released in this way. It could be, I've always known it can be used in a different way, but I never actually really just when we do the breath, because this meditation comes with the breath, and we're moving energy from the energy center 1 up our spine. And we know this, I know this, I've heard this many times. But then again, when some things just kind of start clicking, when we move energy up our energy centers, but sometimes you'll hear him say like fluid up the spine. That comes from the energy center 1. That comes from down there, you know, and instead of releasing it out, men and women, we, you know, have that ability. We move it up our spine, and then, you know, I have, as of this recording, I've never experienced what others, and I'm happy to hear other people's opinion and sharing in this topic, but the brain orgasms, I know that I will at some point, but just, you know, piecing these things together, that it makes sense what's going on, what's happening. And I'm sure that one day I'll come back and say, yeah, I got it. I experienced that. So, okay, so back to the notes. So we're, you know, he's saying, you know, when we, in our energy center 1, when we're safe, we have our food, shelter, community, social networks. We are feeling safe, and we can move that energy up to the second center. It begins to activate the body in a different way. So so energy moves up. That's what we're doing. And then if the environment that we are perceiving feels unsafe in a certain way, we are perceiving a threat, or we can't control an outcome, or we cannot predict something, or we have the perception that something is getting worse, all of a sudden energy moves to our third center. And we use our will to overcome the conditions in the environment. When we are successful at those efforts, naturally energy moves to the fourth center, the heart center, and we feel more love, more whole, more in balance. And when we feel that love, now the energy is in that center becomes activated, and because it feels so good, we have to express our love, and it moves up to the fifth center. So, and all of a sudden we are speaking our greatest understanding and our greatest truth. Once we can explain, it is very, in a very clear way, in a very articulate way, energy moves to the sixth center, the pineal gland, and when this center becomes activated, all of a sudden, we are beginning to activate dormant areas of the brain, and the brain chemistry begins to change, and our spectrum of reality begins to broaden, and we begin to perceive more of reality. If energy makes it to the seventh center, then all of a sudden we experience a greater level of harmony, of internal harmony, of a greater level of order and balance, and we feel more connected to something greater. And by very nature, we have more harmony within us and all around us. If energy moves up to the eighth center, now we are going to download energy from the field, and energy is going to begin to come in from the field down in through the top of our head. And that is the natural progression of energy as we evolve ourselves. So he just explained the movement of energy from lower centers to upper centers to up until the eighth one, where instead of, we're just receiving. And I made a little note on that one, and as I was saying, when we're taking notes and you're processing, and then you get these aha moments. And so when I got to the point of energy center number 8, I was reminded of back in 2009 or so, when I got my Reiki for the first time, when I did my Reiki training. The Reiki master poured, it was like she blew there was something that she did on the top of my head, it was like an atonement, I believe that's what it's called. And it was extremely clear how I could feel energy coming from somewhere else, like from the cosmos, like it's this really highly intelligent energy. And it was through the top of the head. So that makes complete sense to me. I've felt, where this, the top of the head is this like portal of of sorts with energy, like being open to receive. This is where, we get downloads, we call them downloads, and, maybe we see saints with like a fire coming out from here. So it's a really fascinating thing. So back to the notes. So the natural progression of energy as we evolve ourselves, as many times when there is trauma, and then there's or betrayal or feeling of sad guilt or pain or victimization, or we're feeling overly important or controlling, egocentric, energy stays stuck in these centers because it hasn't moved. And so the work that we have been doing, the work that we do in blessing energy centers, is to create more harmony and balance in each one of the centers, and into the individual mini brains that each center has, and tune it into the energy surrounding each one. So like the convergent and divergent focus. So as we tune into, the particles and then to the energy around it, that work that we do is bringing more harmony and balance to each one of the centers, so that it's open to receiving new frequency and new energy that begins to create more coherence in each of these mini brains. And that sends a more coherent signal to all the cells and tissue and the organs that are the dominion of each one of the energy centers. Completely makes sense. So in this meditation, we're going to be moving energy up. First, we're going to begin with the breath, as I just said, to pull the mind out of the body. And when we do it with a level of intensity that is greater than that, the body as the mind, that also is as a good point, is like, a lot of times the body becomes the mind, like the body's in control. But what we're doing here is that with this level of intensity and commitment, that that the body as the mind, and we can we're pulling the mind out of the body. We're contracting each of these intrinsic muscles inside the body, and we're milking energy out of these lower energy centers. And if we do it with enough presence and enough inspiration, the sympathetic nervous system is going to switch on, and all of a sudden that energy is going to start moving up to the brain. I really like when he says milking the energy out of these lower centers, and that's where it goes back to, instead of releasing it out when we're using the energy centers for procreation or for sex, instead of moving it outward, we're milking that energy to move up the energy centers and pull the mind out of the body. And all of a sudden that energy is going to start moving up to our brain orgasm, maybe, perhaps. This has been measured with so many students in this work, that the brain becomes more coherent, highly coherent, supercharged, and there is more energy in the brain, and the brain goes into gamma brainwave patterns, and now we are super conscious and super aware. After we do our breath, he wants us to give it our best, so this is Blessing of Energy Centers 5. So my I think that the level of intensity is expected to be even stronger, higher, when doing the breath and getting to that state of pulling the mind out of the body. So we start then after to move with each one of the energy centers, and he wants us to linger in that infinite black space while he asks us to rest our attention on each energy center. So after we do the breath, we begin with energy center 1, and then we move out, but we linger into the infinite black space while we rest our attention on each center. And he will ask us to tune into each center. So just all our energy will flow with where our attention is going. He's only going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know where they are by now, and so we will move from the first center to the second center, and when we get to the second center and we tune into its energy, then he will say 1, 2, and he wants us to connect the second to the space between the two centers. So this is what makes this this meditation even more unique, because we are connecting each energy center and we're focusing on the space in between the energy centers. So he's going to give us time for that, for connecting to the space in between energy centers. And the intention in there is to open the door, or open a channel, or open a pathway. I think those are key words. I mean, for me, pathway or channel work best. Opening the door, if I think of opening the door, I think of opening the door to an 8. That's where my mind goes to. I don't know about you, but perhaps, opening a door between energy center 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like, so we're opening the channels, the pathways, the doors in between each one. And then the big door up here. So for the energy, we're opening that space for the energy to move through to the second center. And then we will connect and move to the third center. We rest our attention in that center and the space around it, and we will tune into that energy and receive. Remember, the part about receiving is that we're receiving that new energy, that new information, that more coherent energy, because we're blessing each one with life. So when we focus our attention in the area around the energy center, that's when we receive the new energy. And then we will go, then he will say to us 1, 2, 3, and he wants us to connect the first to the second once again, and from the second to the third again. And he wants us to feel the space between them. And he said, that's it. So that's like the process of connecting each one, each energy center, and the space in between them to open up that pathway, open up the channel, the doors, and connecting them with the intention of opening the door. Then we move to the fourth center, rest our attention there, become aware of the space around it. Looking through here. Okay, so then once we are allowing the energy, experiencing it, surrendering to it, we move up each energy center all the way up to the 8th energy center. And then he will ask us to unfold into the infinite vast space and to go deeper into the unified field and to lose ourselves in nothing and become everything and begin to unify with a greater consciousness and to let it consume us and to go deeper into the blackness, tuning in and unfolding even deeper. It's like the favorite part, right? So we've arrived and sometimes don't want to leave. This feels so amazing to be there, to let go, to become one with that unified field. And this is going, and then eventually we have to come back. He's going to ask us then to pull that energy. I love this part too. We're gonna, okay, now, in however way, we, each one of us imagines, or instructs, or just follows, to bring that energy, to pull that energy into the top of our head, and we will go down each one of the energy centers, and he will give us very specific instructions on what to do with our body when we are finished. And at the end, we're going to lay down. So that is Blessing of Energy Centers 5. I hope that this was helpful to you. Again, just to build that model, to build that understanding so that we can really have a better experience, of make the most out of what we're doing. So it's easier for us to do, and to, again, build those neurological networks so that we're getting just more value out of what we're doing. So I'm excited to do this with you on Saturday here in the Coherence Meditation Gym. There'll be an event that you'll get the invitation to. All you do is you click on that blue button. It'll get you your Zoom link. If you've been doing this with us, you know what to do, and it's a beautiful thing. You show up on a few minutes before. I usually don't like to speak too much before, because I really want us to just, I guess, honor that sacred time of our meditation process. But at the end of the meditation, we do, whomever is inspired to stay and to share and to ask and to just reflect, or just to listen to others. It's usually the most enriching time. I find this to be a beautiful opportunity of connection within the members and within, people that are like, that you can relate to. And there's people with all different levels of experience, and, but nothing really is off limits. I think that we all are here because we want to learn and evolve and heal in some way, shape, or form, or get to next levels of consciousness, or next levels of self, and become, the fullest version that we came here to do or be or have, and so though these are not recorded, they're live, whomever is meant to show up and share and listen. Some of the sharings are absolutely incredible. I obviously, it's nothing that we plan. It's all organic, as it's beautiful in that way. And so, yeah, I look forward to connecting with you. If again, if you're watching this live, hello, Patricia and Jane and Emma and Deb and Katrina and Diana, Ivana, Diane, Gerald, Kevin, Amy, Sylvia, Lennon. Oh my gosh, you guys, Catherine, and I've met Amy, Kevin. So great to be with you. Sorry I can't see the comments, but yeah, feel free to comment here, and if there's any questions or any sharing, that'd be awesome. We're creating a beautiful community here at the Coherence Meditation Gym. Again, if you're watching this as a recording on YouTube, come on in, join in. This is a beautiful community, and we're again here to grow, evolve, change into better versions of ourselves. So would love to have you. I'm just thinking of any other announcements. Tomorrow is class 2 of the Coherence Mastery of this round. You're still welcome to share. And as always, if you knew or don't know, I am a Heart Math certified coach, and I do work with people one-on-one, and I love working with one-on-one people. Just yesterday, and I just shared this in my Facebook, is that I love getting those phone calls of like random times of like, oh my God, you won't believe I just had a breakthrough, and something that we've been working on for, in this case was like a 6-month thing, and just like finally this breakthrough in emotions. But there's all sorts of other things. I've had calls where like my blood count is such and such, and I can't believe this is. So I truly, it's my passion, my joy to work with people. So just know that that's something that is also available. And I truly believe that whomever I'm meant to work with, I'm here for I'm open to receive, and I'm open to give and share. All right, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you Saturday. Okay, bye for now. Remember always to come back to your heart. Always.